Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning, live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios. Locations across the great state of Florida and right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Swing on by, see the good people at International Diamond Center. Today's show will have Brent Beaird, our college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter, and then the second portion you'll have Win with JC. He and Zach will take it home. Let's go straight to the Titan Number hotline. It's our man Brent Beaird, who's been very busy. Keeping up with all these media days. Good morning, Brent. How are
you? Shane, good to be back for media days with the SEC. Was in Tampa last week and certainly enjoyed that. And now the most latest thing that we're trying to track is the College Sports Act. They are trying to redo that to make as many people happy as they can. So they sent a last and final version around midnight. They've got a deadline today that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to have the president's vote this afternoon on this and just kind of see how close they can get together with it. So I won't go in all the minutia of it, but that will give folks a little bit of an idea of maybe what we can expect later today.
Brady, you've been following the Big Ten media days at all?
I have, yes, absolutely.
Well, obviously,
yeah,
the last few national titles, but what Brett Bielema, which I kind of like him a little bit, but he's taking shots at the Southeastern Conference for some reason.
Yeah, this is a guy who was 11-29 in the SEC. From 2013 to 2017, he says the SEC is stuck in 2005. So he's taken a few shots. Folks may remember he was at Arkansas. I mean, Bielema is a pretty good football coach, frankly. Overall, he's been at some different schools. He's now at Illinois, so they're hoping that they can get things turned around there. But yeah, that's been part of Big Ten media days, is poking fun at the SEC, hadn't it, Shane?
Yeah. So obviously there's always expansion, but there's a couple, they kind of said, okay, if there is expansion, these are the schools that are going to the Big Ten, or these are the ones going to the SEC. Tell us who those are, potentially.
Yeah. Yes. And that's a good word, is potentially. Cal, Stanford to the Big Ten. What would interest us more would be Miami and Florida State going to the Big Ten. Now, we've heard some different things about that, the possibility of FSU going to the SEC, but it may be more the Big Ten. Pitt and Virginia to the Big Ten. I've also heard North Carolina and Virginia to the SEC. Now, for the SEC, North Carolina State, Duke, Clemson as possibilities. Now, Notre Dame would be involved with this somehow. To have a scheduling agreement between the SEC and the Big Ten. Not sure how that would work at this point. Nothing's finalized with this. It's fascinating to keep up with at this point. But Shane, it doesn't take long to realize after you name all these teams, let's just pretend this happened. The question really comes up: what in the world would the ACC do to put this back together?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting the next few years. I don't even want to have to even think about it, because college athletics, as you know, right now is a mess. Brent, the strength of schedule for the Southeastern Conference, ESPN came out with their rankings. Give us that rundown.
Boy, in Arkansas, Shane, do you see now? I think we see now why Arkansas is picked last in the SEC in all the magazines. is because Arkansas has the number one strength of schedule, Oklahoma 2, Texas 3, Kentucky 4, Ole Miss 5, Mississippi State 6, Florida 7, Ohio State is 8, A&M is 9, South Carolina 10, LSU 11, Missouri 12, Auburn 13, Tennessee and Bama 14 and 15. So that's just kind of a guess from ESPN about the strength of schedules, and we see where the how highly the SEC is rated with this.
Yeah, so you just went down the top 15, and I thought it was an SEC thing, but it's top 15 in America.
Yeah,
Every one of them are SEC except Ohio State.
that's right. Oh yeah, yeah, and that is kind of where the league has come now. And again, this is part of the reason, Shane, why the SEC wants to expand the playoffs. Now, they don't really want to go to 24. That's still up in the air. But they would like to go to 16. If they did from 12 to 16, they might get at least 2 more teams in. So we'll watch and see where that goes. But all this stuff is kind of interrelated one way or another.
Yeah, Rose Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right. With the right insurance options for you and your family, visit ogreinsurance.com and learn about their new office in Newberry. All right, Brent, I'm glad you sent these, and we're going to talk about it because everybody saw who the media picked to be, first team all SEC and all that, but also to win the SEC. But my goodness, I didn't realize it was this big of a lead or what have you, or most votes went to the Georgia Bulldogs by a lot to win the SEC.
Yeah, 88 to 57, Georgia over Texas. So Georgia and Texas. And again, I guess we have to look at this a little bit differently now than what we used to. It's not really so much even who wins the league as much as who gets in the playoffs. So your top teams would be Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Alabama are the top 5. Now Oklahoma, LSU, and even Kentucky got 1 or 2 votes as far as, and again, that was for SEC champion. Now the predicted order of finish, which is very similar: Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, A&M, LSU's 5th, Bama 6, Oklahoma 7, Tennessee is 8. I bet that's the lowest they've been in a while. Florida is 9, and Missouri is 10. So that gives folks a little bit of an example. And again, the rest of the South Carolina, Auburn's 12, Vandy's 13, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Any surprises necessary with that, Shane, or is that kind of how you thought it would go?
No, it's about what I thought. But I was surprised at the
I agree.
amount of votes for the Georgia Bulldogs over Texas, quite honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Because and there are also certain magazines have got Texas over Georgia, but the main thing is they would be the top 2 teams in the league in the playoffs is what this is talking about now.
Yeah. Question here on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumber from AMAC. He says, I don't know, but Ohio State signed with JP Morgan Chase, Memphis signed with FedEx, and Notre Dame is signed with SoFi. Everyone's doing it. Could Florida possibly sign with Publix? Talking about the patches on the jerseys, I believe.
Yes.
What do you know about this, Brand?
Yeah, that every team basically is doing their own deal, or at least that's what it looks like right now. Now, people are asking the question, we don't want them to look like NASCAR drivers, and I get that, which means for people who drive in NASCAR, they've got all the patches on the uniform, and that's not going to happen for college football. They will, as a matter of fact, you may have to look hard just to see it, but the reality is this is an easy deal for schools in making money. So at some point, Shane, pretty much everybody's going to do it. I would say that they may have one, maybe two at the most, but I don't think it's going to be anything that would be, again, what you compare to NASCAR on a typical day.
Have they reported how much, like, say, Chase Bank, I guess, gave Ohio State?
I think it depends on which report that you look at. A lot of it doesn't go into detail, or the details haven't been released yet. I think they eventually will, but safe to say, what I'm not sure also is it just year to year, or they have a 3-year deal or something? And well, we're just now kind of getting the details of these deals.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much they're actually paying to put their
That's
logo
right.
name on the jersey. I saw some people also text here on the Titan More text line, Gatorade, Publix, Morgan and Morgan, different people like that. So we'll see what happens. I would
Yeah.
assume that if we were going to have it on our jersey this year, they would have done that. So Andy, who's my great researcher, great listener on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says JP Morgan Chase, 15 mil a year. FedEx is 25 million a year over 5 years for all sports. Good for the
Yeah.
men's
Well,
Tigers.
really, absolutely, and thank you for those details too. Yes.
Yes, I have people that Nvidia is another one because their founder, I don't know if he gives a damn about any sport at Florida, but he graduated from the University of Florida, so we'll see. All right, Brent, let's go around. What's going on in Tuscaloosa?
Well, everybody is getting ready to start practice, and how glad we are for that to finally get a situation where that's going on. Tyser Young is a 4-star linebacker. He committed to Alabama recently over Miami, Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, and Rutgers. Rated the number 109 player nationally, number 7 linebacker in the country, number 1 player in Delaware. I can tell you this: Alabama probably hadn't had a whole lot of players from Delaware in the past, Shane. So this is kind of new, but I understand the guy's a good player. So recruiting still going on as we begin practice, and we'll get into it in a few minutes. But if you played or going to be playing in week 0, you started practice this week like FSU started yesterday.
Yeah. What's going on with the Mighty Gators?
I will tell you, being up close in the media room, the print room, John Sumrall did about as good a job as any coach in the SEC in his first time. I've seen a lot of first time coaches, and he was very good in many ways. Sumrall talked about the 9-game SEC schedule. I mean, he didn't shrink from talking about it. Said, we're going to do it. We'll take care of it. We will deal with it. A lot of other coaches talked about it. Some of them said that they wish they had more time off during the season than they do. But I would say, as Florida begins in a few days, Sumrall did as good a first job as I've seen in a while, Shane.
Yeah, he did a fine job, no question. What's going on up in Athens with the Dogs?
Dante Dowdell, Georgia running back, has been hurt, ATV accident. And his comment was, we don't know when his return will be. He is out of the really tough range. But as far as complete health and coming all the way back, I don't know what that looks like. So, Shane, you've been around guys who were hurt right before the year started, and it's tough. He transferred in from Kentucky, played for Oregon, Nebraska, so he has been around for a while. Certainly, hopefully, he will get better soon. And this is why coaches, as you know very well, want their players in camp as soon as possible.
The Missouri Tigers, Ahmad Hardy, one of the best running backs in America, A lot of people thought he was the best running back last year in the league. He was voted to the first team All SEC. What's his status, Brent? Is he going to be available at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, or what are they thinking?
Probably the toward the end of September is for what it looks like. He was shot in the upper leg in May. He was at a concert in Mississippi. He has been cleared medically, but has to get back in shape. 5 to 8 weeks is what they're saying. Eli Drinkwith at Media Day said the bullet did not strike a bone in his body and that he's been fully healed and clear. So that's kind of what they're looking at. They play Mississippi State on September the 26th. So he probably won't be back until then. And look, to your point, I mean, this guy is one of the better running backs in the league. I mean, for the season last year, 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns to go along with all that. So, and Shane, the reality for this is it's one thing to get over physically and get healed, but the mental aspect is what coaches have talked about in situations like this, in that it just takes you a while to get back, and the healing is physical and mental, frankly.
Locally owned, Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and now open in Jonesville next to Tioga. Brent, I thought Pete Golding was outstanding at Media Days as well. Looks like the Ole Miss Rebels are suing the LSU Tigers. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, this is probably where we're going to now. Princeton U and Devin Harper are two players. Ole Miss is suing for breach of contract for both those players who transferred to LSU. They're trying to get $550,000 from Princeton U and $400,000 from Harper for attorney's fees and court costs. The school contends that two players signed a revenue sharing contract, promised to return to Ole Miss before they went with Lane Kiffin to Baton Rouge. So we will see where this goes. I think we're going to probably have more of this than less of this, frankly, but it just kind of opens up a different way of dealing with players. So we will watch and see where that goes, but that was certainly big news yesterday.
Brent, we got a text here from Leroy from Palm Coast on the Titan More text line. He says, we had 2 byes last year. Why did we gain an extra SEC game and it go back to only 1 bye? I personally prefer the 1 bye week. 2 just makes the season so damn long. Is there a reasoning behind it? Do you know at all, Brent?
Yeah. A lot of this, Shane, is how the calendar hits. We will have 2 bye weeks again. I believe it's 2030 and 2031.
Oh.
So that's what it is kind of how the calendar works. So that's something that we will look at then. And to your point, some coaches want the 2 bye weeks. Some coaches, kind of like what you just said, it's easier for them to just have 1 and to work around that. But that's what we got this year. Yes. And not only do we're going from 2 bye weeks to 1 bye week, but we're going from 8 SEC games to 9 SEC games. So yes, it's an adjustment, but Shane, it's like everything with coaches. You ask the number of coaches in the SEC and you'll get kind of a split response from them.
Right. Franklin on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, wants to know, does Brent get pedicures?
Yeah. No, I don't. I do well to wash my hands and clip like most average guys do. But look, I can tell you when John Summerall starts winning at Florida, there'll be a lot of fans sending him coupons for him too, Shane.
That's right. They'll have specials around town. What's going on with the Tennessee Vols?
Yeah, Tennessee got a running back commitment David Gabriel Georges, I may be mispronouncing that, one of the biggest recruitments of the summer, committed to Tennessee over Ohio State a few days ago. Shane, he's a running back now. He's expected to make $2 million in year one. It's the most a running back recruit's ever been paid coming out of high school. Now Michigan paid Savion Hitter in the last recruiting cycle $750,000. So I tell you, Shane, it's just staggering, is it not? What players are getting, and this is why a lot of coaches and the media have talked about having some kind of an NFL type pay structure. They obviously colleges have that yet, but situations like this really kind of bring that discussion up for a lot of controversy, frankly. Yes.
What's going on with the semis in Tallahassee, Brent?
Well, they've started, and people haven't heard because they have an early game on week 0. So they started yesterday, and obviously they've got a few days before they really get into pads and so forth. I think the big question is Ashton Daniels is a quarterback, and what is he going to be able to do for them? He is, again, kind of a dual threat guy. He has 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns with Stanford and Auburn with that too. So they really need to have some stability at quarterback. I think that's going to be very important. Also, Deuce Robinson is their best, probably maybe their best offensive player. All ACC first team receiver they think he's going to be tremendous with this. But as everybody knows, this is a crucial year for FSU, and they've got a big game with SMU on Labor Day night. In a couple weeks from then, they play Alabama. And look, if things don't go well, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's just something to watch for. Coaches now, if it doesn't look like the season's going well, can be fired around the end of October, which I believe that game is on Halloween, believe it or not. So we will watch for that. So just a very crucial preseason and season coming up for the Noles.
Yeah, I failed to mention this too. People may not follow the ACC media days, but for the football media poll preseason, out of 17 teams in the league, they come in at number 11, Florida State. That's hard.
Yeah, that's staggering, isn't it, Shane? Yes.
Yeah. Give us some nuggets, Brent.
We're watching this North Carolina situation pretty carefully. Their GM, Mike Lombardi, is on paid administrative leave. We're not real sure yet what's going on here, but North Carolina's talking about needing a good year, but that's something they need. And by the way, you mentioned the ACC, and this is something very unusual. Is really Deuce Robinson is the only player on the first team, all SEC team. No Seminoles on the defensive side of the ball for that. So Miami got several, as you can imagine. Darian Mensah, the quarterback, Mark Fletcher, running back, Malachi Toney at wide receiver. So that all those guys were some of the ones on the offensive team. Ahmad Moten, defensive tackle for Miami on the defensive team. Mohamed Toure, I may be mispronouncing that one, at linebacker, and Bryce Fitzgerald, one of the safety. So plenty of Canes on the all ACC team that came out, and unfortunately very few Seminoles. But we've got the season to come up so they can get a few folks on the team that really matters in the postseason.
All right, a couple of questions here. We'll get you out of here. AMAC says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, can we add getting Eric Redd in the Ring of Honor to our to-do list in addition to recognizing the 84, 85, and 90 teams and resurrecting Gator Bait? I'll put it on the list. We got a big, long list for the folks over there on campus that need to get done.
Yes.
Eric Redd does need to be in the Ring of Honor. John asked for a question for you, Brent, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. If Tim Harris is the OC and Norvell is calling plays, then what is Tom Herman doing?
Tom is an analyst, is my understanding. Obviously, Tom Herman at one point, he was one of the highest profile coaches in the nation.
Hottest coach out there back in the day.
He was, and Shane's not kidding. He actually was at that point. But my understanding is, as an analyst, and I'm sure he'll have probably more of a primary job, but I think he's helping out in several areas. So, and look, he's got the expertise in order to do it. I think he'll be an asset to the staff. But that's the reality. And some coaches just, that's something they do. They're an analyst for a year. Shane can explain this a little bit more, but they don't get paid a whole lot of money. I mean, they certainly get paid for what they do, but I think Herman will help out the staff.
He should, and we shall see. Brent, great stuff as always. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week, my man.
You too, brother. Look forward to it. Take care.
That is Brent Beaird, our college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. UF grad Michael Schneider, a real estate attorney, can help you save thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by helping you sell your home or land by owner without a broker. Michael Schneider, PLLC, serves the entire state of Florida. Contact Michael at masnyderpllc.com. That's going to do it for me. We're going to turn it over to JC and Zach. Win with JC. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back. Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider, PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Rue's Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheese Sticks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Ever dreamed of catching a touchdown pass from Tim Tebow or Danny Warfel? Or taking a handoff from the legendary Steve Spurrier? Then you need to join the Florida Legends Experience on Sunday, August 23rd. You'll receive a personal video of your touchdown and your football signed by the Gator Heisman winner. Enjoy an unforgettable day of Gator greatness while supporting the incredible mission of the Isaiah 117 House. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com. Don't miss your chance to be part of Gator history.
Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Here we go. It's 30 minutes with Win with JC. I'll bring in Zach Rothrock, our heralded producer, as right now we're going to spend some time trying to speculate. We're going to speculate and go over through some hypotheticals on how you guys can monetize the upcoming football season. If you want to chime in something that you like, I'll be happy to read it over YouTube. That's the one I'm capable of reading right now is YouTube. There we go. This is a segment that we do every Thursday, and it's really going to get fun as we get closer to the football season. And I just dug up these beauties right here. This is my official PodUp with Matthews in the Morning business card. And there on the back, you see, there I am. And I'm excited to tell you guys that we are only about a month or so away until everything just gets going. And then what's going to happen is the amazing thing about this is that we get so excited about football season. We are eager with anticipation. And then before you know it, it's week 9. It's week 6. And here come the Georgia Bulldogs on Halloween. And it's just, wow. I'm just like, goodness gracious. Where did the season and where did the time go? So let's enjoy the preseason a little bit and the time we have before we get going. First thing I want to start off with today is last night's just debilitating and heartbreaking loss I viewed with the Detroit Tigers, a team that I have a futures to make the playoffs at plus 275, up 7-0 with Tarek Skubal pitching against the Baltimore Orioles, only to lose after they take him out 10-9 to the shitty Orioles. The Tigers allowed 5 runs in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. They lose the game to the Baltimore Orioles, and that's a heartbreaker. But guess who keeps going on? The Tampa Bay Rays, Yandy Diaz, Ryan Velarde, home runs. The pitchers combined for a 4-hitter, and the Rays beat the Texas Rangers. What about the Rays to win the division? What do you think about that? The Rays, by the way, have, I think, 3 shutouts in the last 4 games. They are 7-3 in their last 10. They are 2.5 games up on the injury-riddled New York Yankees, who somehow just hang in there. Lost to the White Sox last night. But here go the Rays. The Rays right now, you can get at even money to win the American League. I don't think that's a bad bet. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. Because why? Nobody beats them in Tampa, St. Pete, and they've got the pitching. That's what I think it will take. To win the World Series, the Dodgers are plus 170. That's your favorite. The Brewers are plus 900 in the National League. Tampa, though, is 17-1 to win the World Series right now, right behind the Yankees. Why? I have no idea the Yankees are so short on that number. I guess people believe that the pitching, or maybe there's some regional bias in New York. Don't ask me, but the Red Sox at 22.5-1 to win the American League, and the Rays at 17.5-1 make a lot of sense to me. Anybody that wants to come in here, Barone 71, my man from South Florida, excited about winning with JC. Hopefully we can get something going for you, Barone. I'm really trying, brother. We got Michael Schneider, 8656. Great Michael Schneider. We got AMAC with a bunch of numbers and letters behind him. And yes, we've got Cliff Saunders. Listen, he wants to dump some money on South Florida over and UCF under. A parlay there would be tough to win. I got to look at those teams. I've got to apologize, Cliff. I don't have that in front of me. But there is some plays I really like in college football. Let's start with just the team right here in Gainesville, the Florida Fighting Gators at 7.5. Guys, I think this is going to be an exciting year. I've gone through it with Shane. Why? I think the playmakers this team has and the quarterback play and the offensive coordinator and the coaching staff is going to somehow find a way to get this team to at least 8 wins. 8 wins with that schedule is going to be a challenge. It is. You can't deny that the schedule is going to be a challenge, but every team in this league has a challenging schedule. Every single team, with the exception of probably Georgia. Somehow they avoid some of these toughings, but they are playing at Alabama, and they can't beat Alabama in regular season. They beat them in the SEC game sometimes, but not in the regular season. So the Fighting Gators are going to start off with 2 wins. You know that. You know that. So in the next 10 games, you're asking the Fighting Gators to win 60%. That's 6 out of the next 10. At Auburn, to me, the most pivotal game on the schedule because I think it will set the tone. Shane's like, well, JC, they may win the rest of their games if they lose to Auburn, or if they beat Auburn, they may lose the rest of their game. Yeah, whatever. But you got to say something about this schedule, and it starts with Auburn. Then you come home against Mississippi, and that quarterback and everything that he's got is great. That running back is great. But funny things happen to Mississippi when they come to the Swamp. I think a road trip to Missouri is very doable. Long story short, I think there are 6 wins after those first 2 for the Fighting Gators to finish at 8-4. Anything above that or at that, I think is a successful season. Let me tell you this, guys. I was playing golf yesterday right over here at Hawkstone Country Club in southwest Alachua County, and the coaching staff for the Fighting Gators was out there having a hell of a good time. I mean, those guys were yucking it up. They were partying in the outdoor hut out there that we have. They were indoors having drinks. They were just having a great time, the coaching staff. And everybody seemed very loose. I think they're very confident. I think they know they've got material on this team. They've got playmakers who can get the ball in the end zone. I'm making the case for Florida at plus odds, plus 135 right now today, over 7.5. If you don't believe in the Gators, you are laying $1.60 on the under, which means most people don't believe they can win 8 games. Now, if you want to hit an exact number, I think the Gators can win 6. I think the Gators can win 7. Exactly. You get 3.5 to 1 on 6. You get just over 3 to 1 for 7. So if you look at that schedule, say win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, and you come to 6 right on the number, you're going to get 3.5 to 1. If you come in at 7, you're getting plus 325. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad bet either, but that would be disappointing. So I don't know. I'm going with the 8 wins. All right, let's get to the NFL. Of course, we've got other teams. The most bet team right now in college football, just before we get to the NFL and before I bring in Zach, the most bet team on DraftKings right now is the Kentucky Wildcats over 4.5 wins. They are the most bet, the most money on DraftKings for the futures on the Kentucky Wildcats is 4.5. That has more money on that over than any school in college football. Barone 71, my guy says, take the Marlins plus 110 over 7.5 in Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, the Marlins just got over a 12-game losing streak, won 2 straight. I think the Marlins are good. I think the Marlins still have a chance, a slim chance to make the wild card. So we'll see. Their pitching isn't bad. You know, that's what it's all about is the pitching. Zach, what do you think about this NFL? Today, I just learned that my Bengals, who I believe are going to win the AFC North at plus 175, they're really trying to improve their defense, right? So what happens to them yesterday?
On that snake button.
Shamar Stewart with an ACL, a gruesome injury. He's one of the guys they were going to count on this year. A gruesome injury, out goes Shamar Stewart. So that's got to probably make that number a little longer on the Bengals. We shall see. But the Bengals at plus 175 is my play for the AFC North. Baltimore at 110, Pittsburgh at 550. In the South, well, first let me hear what you like, and then
I was gonna go to the South as well, the NFC South. A team that I like to repeat as champions would be the Carolina Panthers, but they snake bitten as well. They've suffered an offensive lineman injury, they've suffered a wide receiver injury, and training camp they haven't even kicked off a real preseason game yet. So I mean, it's definitely tough to get these setbacks, especially when you. The Panthers pick to me was really more that I think that they will be able to just rise above the falling tide around them. Like I think the Buccaneers are going to take a step back. The Falcons, who knows what they're doing? The Saints, everyone, a lot of people are believing in the Saints. A lot of football people are believing in the Saints. But I just tend to think that the Panthers, with the way their defense came through at the end, with the way their running game comes through, if they can lean on Jonathan Brooks more than Chuba Hubbard, I think they'll find a way to win a lot of games, particularly in that NFC South.
Well, and I'll tell you that total looks very attractive. The Carolina is your defending South Division winners, and Carolina is plus 350. They did it with a sub 500 record, but they won 8 games. So plus 350 on Carolina and Atlanta. Tampa Bay plus 175. The Saints with Tyler Shuck at plus 260. In the NFC East, I'm going to go with the Star. I just believe the Star is ready to win the division. I know Philadelphia's the favorite, plus 125. Then you've got the Giants and Washington at roughly around 5-1. But Dallas, to me, has really improved on the defensive side. And they were the worst team statistically and any other category you want to throw them at defensively in the National Football League last year. The Star was horrible. Everybody pounced on the Star. But Dallas has improved themselves dramatically on the defensive side. There are a bunch of new names, and I won't go too deep into it, but at 2-1, I'm taking them to win the East, the Dallas Cowboys. In the North, I love the Lions. I love the Lions. They have to stay healthy, and Gibbs has got to get his deal. If Jahmyr Gibbs gets his deal as a running back, he's sitting there at practice. He's showing up to practice, but he's really not doing much. They got to pay him. At plus 160, I think you get a good enough bet to take them. The Bears at plus 300 are my second pick in that division. And then you have Green Bay at 240. I don't know what the story is with Jordan Love. The money they gave Christian Watson was ridiculous. And then Minnesota at 500. Some folks like the Vikings. I don't really know why.
So there's only one
You
division.
like the Vikings.
I'm some people. There's only one division where I'm picking the biggest underdog, the fourth out of the fourth underdog to win outright, and it is the NFC North. The NFC North has one of the tightest odds and from top to bottom of all the divisions. I really believe in Kevin O'Connell. Brian Flores is going to have the defense right. They got a good running game, and I've always been infatuated with. I've always really liked Kyler Murray. They haven't made him officially the starter yet. I think it's about the worst kept secret in the NFL right now that Kyler Murray will be the Week 1 starter.
You like Kyler Murray?
I do like Kyler Murray. Well, I didn't like him when he was on the Cardinals, okay? But I like the idea, okay? I like the idea of Kyler Murray if he can get in a real offense with a real scheme and he can throw to a guy like Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to create more separation. He's not going to drop it like his guy Marvin Harrison was doing. He basically just had Trey McBride and just a bunch of just guys running around in Arizona. With Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell's got a great system. He runs that Kyle Shanahan, that Sean McVay, that same type of system where they put a lot of guys in motion and they get guys open. They'll be able to move the pocket for Kyler Murray to get him some open looks where he can actually see over his offensive lineman instead of trying to have him stand there like a true pocket passer. It will be a tough division. The Bears are going to be there. The Lions are going to be there. The Packers will be there. But I think at the end of it all, the Vikings will be number 1 in the NFC North.
Well, AMAC 59 says, watch out for Caleb Williams. He's lost 15 pounds. The Bears at 3-1. They had a very good season last year, lost a very heartbreaking playoff game at home. Yeah. And then MSRK I41 says the Buccaneers are pissed. Nobody's getting paid down there. Baker says he can't get an extension, so he's got 1 year to go. all that's going to get worked out. You got to get ready to play football, and the business part of it, I think, will take care of
I'm
itself.
starting to feel like Vita Vea may not work. Baker will work out.
Vea-
Baker will be a
Vea-
Bucks quarter, but Vita Vea may be out the door though.
So Tampa's plus 175. My Rams, the team I like, and that I've always liked since I was 6 years old, and John Hadle was the quarterback. That proves to you that I am a Rams fan because I brought up John Hadle.
That's a big callback.
And James Harris and Wendell Tyler and the Youngbloods and Save My Bones, here comes Cody Jones and Larry Brooks. I mean, I know all about Hacksaw Reynolds. The Rams are my team. They are the favorite this year, but their number is so short in the best division in football with the Niners, the Seabags, and the Rams. Of course, you have Arizona there, and they are predicted to be the worst team in the NFL. But the Rams are even money basically to win the West. That's just not enough. If I were taking a bet and I was basically being objective about it, not subjective, I like Seattle once again. Yeah, they lost a few players, but they are Seattle, and I think at 2-1, you get some value there. The Niners are 3-1, but already Ricky Pearsall busted up his leg yesterday. The Niners, there are just some teams out there
Another
in the league
snake-bitten team, yeah,
that always have injury issues. They always have injury issues. And the Niners are that team. The Niners are that team. So I don't trust the Niners at all. So again, Dallas in the East, the Lions in the North. You're going to go with Carolina in the South. I got no answer on that division. And then the West,
that one's tough.
I would take Seattle at plus 210, and I hope like hell I lose that. I think the Rams, with the way they've improved their defense, think about it. Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watkins from the Chiefs in the back side of the defense, Myles Garrett on the defensive line. They've already got some good players up front and a good linebacking core with Fisk. And so I think defensively the Rams are going to be considerably better. The offense will be fine with Puka and Stafford. Man, they run out 13 personnel with 3 tight ends, 1 back, and it just drives the defense is crazy. The Rams scored all day long on the Seahawks and still lost some crazy games in Seattle last year. Otherwise, they would have had home field and likely would have won the Super Bowl.
2-point conversion.
Yeah, that too. And this year the game is at SoFi in Los Angeles, that toilet of a city. But they are playing the game in Los Angeles. That works out well for my Rams. So in the AFC, we talked about Cincinnati already down with an injury with Shamar Stewart. Go ahead.
Before we move on from real quick, I think if you're going to go with the Rams, because I like the Rams to win that division also, but I don't like the odds. I think if you're going to go Rams, I think you might as well just go for the home run before they potentially bring back Aaron Donald and the odds get even shorter. Go ahead and go Super Bowl 61 winner plus 550 currently on the Hard Rock app. Because, man, if this team gets rolling and they get momentum into the playoffs and they have Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald, you can't double team both of them. I just don't see how you can beat them if Stafford's healthy.
Well, listen, they got to stay healthy. You're right. Stafford's got to stay healthy.
That's a long time.
Can't throw the ball to the other team. It's a long season. That's the thing. But we're just trying to make some hypothetical plays right now. In the AFC, I've got Cincinnati still. I think in the South, the Jaguars are 2-1, but the favorite for me would be Houston at plus 120. That's the smarter play. I think defensively, that's the best team in football defensively. Houston is ridiculous on the defensive side.
So fast.
If C.J. Stroud just gets his head out of his you-know-what, the Texans could be a real pain in the neck to deal with. I'm not worried about Daniel Jones and the Colts at 375. The problem with the Jags is their schedule is ridiculously difficult in terms of travel. They will be going overseas twice. They don't play a home game from week 4 to week 11. That is 8 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever, that they won't be in Jacksonville. So that's just, pick your suitcase up and get your passport. And it's hard. It's hard. I don't care what they say. Oh, it's a pro. They're pros. No, they're just human beings. And then in the West, I'm going to go with, I think Kansas City is going to be vastly better and improved than they were last year. They were a huge disappointment. Mahomes will be back. They say he's tracking very well coming off the injury. Everybody's in love with the Chargers except me. And I'm going with Denver. I'm taking Denver, the Big Orange. They play nasty defense. And I think that quarterback is just fine with Sean Payton. At 2-1, the Broncos give me the West.
like
In the
that.
East, it's clearly Buffalo. In fact, what I
I like
would
that
do in
too.
the East, what I would do in the East, Zach, is do an exacta. You can get 3-1 if you take the exact order of finish, and that's Buffalo, that's New England, and then either the Jets or the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Jets, and then the Dolphins will finish last. I hate saying it for all our Miami fans and all our Floridian fans. They just don't have any players, man.
That means they
Malik
could win the
Willis is
March
going to
for Orange.
Yeah, and Malik's going to do great things, but he's got nobody down there to help him out.
No
Waddle is
receivers.
Waddle is now in Denver. Tyreek Hill's
That's a
basically
big
done.
pickup
His
for them.
career's over. Yeah. So I think Achan is good, but Achan gets hurt too. And there's no way he's lasted 17 weeks throughout the season. No, it's
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Buffalo, New England, Jets, Dolphins. That exactly gets you plus 275. What do you think of that?
I like everything about that except the fact that you got to rely on the New York Football Jets to win a few games. But I mean, someone's got to come in third and someone's got to come in fourth. So I do like the general idea of that. I think we kind of went over the AFC West kind of quickly. So I do like your Broncos pick. I think you're avoiding all the shiny lights. You're not being distracted by everyone talking about the Chargers. You're not being distracted by the Chiefs. The Denver Broncos, as we just mentioned when we were talking about the Dolphins, they just signed or added Jalen Waddle. I think you add a guy like Jalen Waddle to Sean Payton's offense, where Bo Nix is really starting to come into his own and get a grasp for it and feel for it. I mean, he could explode within that offense. He could have a huge season. So yeah, I do like the Denver Broncos to repeat as champion. Anytime you can get the third best odds when you're the repeat as champion and you've added pieces versus losing guys, I don't see why you wouldn't go with the Broncos.
Cortland Sutton on the other side of Waddle.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are ready to win. I just like them. I just think I trust their defense. I trust Sean Payton. So I had a guy yesterday in the bar at the golf club after I lost $30 to him say, "Hey man, I can't get on Hard Rock for some reason. Blah blah blah. Let's give me a couple futures bet." He's taking the Detroit Lions to go over their win total of 10.5. And he's got the Oklahoma Sooners to go over their win total of, is it 7.5? And so I made those plays. I could look it up on the phone, but I don't want to take it off YouTube right now. A couple things here. Marlins are selling. MSRK says they're done. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I'm definitely not going to bet them. I like them. MSRK also adds the Bears will win the North. Barone believes your boy Murray is better than JJ. AMAC says Shane Matthews is better than JJ.
I did see that. That's funny. It might be true.
Cliff Saunders, my guy K. Cliff says he's dropping Vince Ferragamo. Love it, K. Cliff. Love my Rams. Cliff also said he went hunting with Larry Brooks. So myself and K. Cliff Saunders are big Rams fans, the GOATs. Yeah, you know how they do in Texas. It's like this with the Rams, and then you go like this, and then you go. Look, see that? See the Rams?
I've never seen that move. I like it.
You gotta curl your pinky and finger and the Rams.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Make them clash.
I mean, wait a minute. Hold on. I know people love the Gators. We'll talk about the damn Gators every day. But here they are. Look at these. And I think LA is an absolute sewer. But I am a Rams fan. I liked it almost better when they were in St. Louis, best offense of all time in 2000. Okay, Cliff says the Jags are going to take the next step in the AFC. It's just the schedule is brutal. And then he adds that MSRK says that Malik Willis will lead the league in interceptions. Wouldn't surprise me. And sometimes interceptions are not the quarterback's fault. Michael Schneider, 8656. Cam Ward will elevate the Tennessee Titans in year 2. Now, he's got that receiver. He's got that receiver coming from Ohio State, who was very good, Carnell Tate, I believe. And so he's got a couple of weapons there. But to wrap up, basically, it's Dallas, it's Detroit. I have nothing on the South. And if I were betting it, I'm not going to go against my Rams, but if I was agnostic about the West, I would have to take Seattle at plus 210, just because they're the defending champs. They kept a lot of those guys intact on the defensive side. I think their coach McDonald is fantastic as a defensive guy, and I think Sam Darnold is great. I've always defended Sam Darnold. Minnesota got rid of a guy that won them 14 or 15
Yeah,
games.
14, yeah.
That's the Vikings for you. That's everything in the state of Minnesota. And pretty much everything in that crappy little city named Minneapolis. Everything goes to hell there, and I just don't believe in the Vikings. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not a fan. But hey, if you call this right and you get that 5-1, I will send you your flowers, brother.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think it's a
golf
tight.
real
I
quick.
think they send 3 teams to the wild card or 2 wild card teams. Yeah, I think it'll be tight.
Bears in Detroit. All right, real quick
Yep.
on golf. We've got the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit. It's a par 70. Anyway, here's my play right now. I'm going to take a winner on the weekend. I don't do it pre-flop, as they say, but I love this parlay, this top 20 to finish parlay of Cam Young, Wyndham Clark, and Chris Gotterup. All of those are minus odds, except Gotterup at plus 110. You can get those 3 if you combine them in a parlay for the top 20 at just over 5-1. That's not great, but usually you get a profit boost in there somewhere to do that parlay. And with that profit boost, it jumps up to almost 7-1. I don't know. Top 20 is not asking much, I don't think, for these 3 players. Cam Young plays very well. Clark has had a great year, and Gotterup is always in the top 20. I think that's a good bet. To win the tournament, I think you can get really good odds on guys like Jake Knapp, Russell Henley, Eric Cole, well over 30-1 on those. Eric Cole is 60-1. Former Gator Ricky Castillo is 150-1. But it's too hard to really go and pick the winner, even though we try to do it every week on the Peachland Dental Picks Contest with Shane on Matthews in the Morning. Man, I don't know. It's kind of dried up for me on the overall winner. So I'm going top 10s and top 20s here for the Rocket Mortgage. Again, the Gators to win over 7.5, hell yeah, plus 130. To make the college football playoff, it's not big enough for me, but you get 375 on Hard Rock. If you are out of state and you've got another service and you shop that around, I promise you can get the Gators at better than 5 or 6-1 to just make the playoff, to be in the field of 12. To go to Atlanta, the Fighting Gators, meaning to be one of the 2 teams that play for the SEC championship, the Fighting Gators are plus 900. That's 9-1. I would hope for a little bit better number than that. But to win the SEC, the Gators are 22.5-1. That's plus 2250. Man, I don't know. That's asking a lot in the first year for Coach Summerall. But if Philo catches fire and these kids on the outside, Wilson, Singleton, Brown, and the tight end, and Jaden Ball, if these guys score a lot of points defensively, they'll be good enough to keep this team ahead by the time the game is over. So I think Florida is a sleeper in this league. My sleeper for this league in the SEC was Oklahoma. But the Gators, obviously there's some recency bias here for me, or not recency bias, but there's just some favoritism I'm throwing out there. But I think the Gators have a better chance of winning more games than the Seminoles. I'll say that. And I think Florida will win 8. That's my number. You can get an exact bet on 6, 7, or 8. Just go and look for it on the Hard Rock app. Good luck to you. Good luck with all your bets. I will be back with Shane tomorrow at 8 o'clock on PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. We'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody.